From spiritual blindness to true conversion. The main effect of the enemy's wiles is to blind man to God's purpose, and thus hold him captive in darkness by a multitude of things offered to him. Blindness is the main effect of the enemy's wiles. Genesis 3:1. We are told that the serpent was the most cunning of all the beasts of the field. We can understand the most cunning to mean the one who had the greatest deceptive means at his disposal to achieve his ends. And cunning produces seduction, for the enemy transforms himself into an angel of light to seduce in order to lead man into sin and away from God. 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no wonder, for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. When man is blinded, the devil's goal is achieved. His heart is finally hardened, and he remains in spiritual darkness. Blindness here leads man into spiritual darkness and produces the hardening of his heart in relation to Jesus Christ, the Word of God. One of the consequences of spiritual blindness is no longer seeing God, but seeing oneself. A spiritually blind person, according to the principles that follow from Genesis 2 and 3, is one who has become unable to see God and sees himself. He is the one whose eyes are open to himself. It should be noted that one of the main principles of healing the blind is to focus on Christ and stop seeing oneself. Blindness is therefore defined as a notorious inability to grasp and understand everything that concerns God. Knowing that as long as we have a primacy of sight over everything that concerns us, it will be difficult for us to heal spiritually. Healing comes through Jesus Christ. When we truly receive it, the true enlightenment of Christ leads us to turn our gaze from ourselves to Jesus Christ, in order to keep ourselves in the light of the Word. Our eyes are closed to what concerns us, to be totally open to Christ. This is what happened in Acts 9 when Paul met the Lord on the road to Damascus. The illumination of Christ produced a 3-day blindness on his whole being. He was healed by the Lord, using Ananias to reconstitute the total enlightenment of the new man through the Word of Christ. The enemy's government takes place in darkness. A person who is blinded is therefore totally governed by the enemy. This government of the enemy automatically produces a hardening of the heart to the Word. Enlightenment, on the other hand, must also produce the dominion of Christ. The man who is going to be enlightened by the Word must end up giving himself totally to Christ. The enemy, knowing this principle, does everything to keep men blind to everything that concerns him in the earthly realm. John 12:40, he has blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, lest they should see with their eyes and understand with their hearts and be converted, and I should heal them. When the heart is hardened to the Word, we move away from God. In this verse from John's Gospel, Christ shows us one of the effects of blindness, which is hardening of the heart. Matthew 13:15, for the heart of this people has become unfeeling. They have hardened their ears and closed their eyes, lest they should see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their heart, be converted, and I should heal them. What does Matthew 13:15 imply? That a spiritually blind person cannot be converted. He can't follow Christ because he can't see him. Hello, brothers and sisters. I hope that you enjoyed this content. And if you did, please feel free to join our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, where you can have access to much more content. If you have any questions or want to know more, feel free to shoot an email at thepurefaithseason@gmail.com, We are the Pure Faith Season. Again, you can find us on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. God bless, and bye for now.